Judy. Mayor Brandon Johnson making it clear today whether it's protecting undocumented families in Chicago or his budget priorities, he will not compromise on his values. But on the budget, he seems willing to ease some of the pain on his proposed property tax hike. Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposed $300 million property tax hike has received significant criticism from alderpersons from the moment he introduced it right up until today, as public safety and other departments were getting their budgets scrutinized.
What we know is this: we are working to ensure that we go line by line to squeeze this budget as much as we can before we ask for $1 more from taxpayers.
In light of all the pushback from the council, the mayor suggesting his tax hike plan may not have been as serious as originally thought.
Well, I don't necessarily consider it as pushback. I'll say it like this. So as a public school teacher, sometimes we do things to get people's attention. And so now that we have the attention of everyone, I've said from the very beginning, this is a proposal. I'm a collaborative mayor.
But Mayor Johnson said layoffs
It's all
and
lies. That's was never a proposal. They're doing it in order to fill a budget deficit. $242 million this year, $942 million next year. They absolutely in shambles over in Chicago.
furloughs are still out of the question, and he won't defer making a supplemental pension payment this year. The mayor denied misreading the council when he announced the property tax hike.
My finance team continues to have robust conversations about other forms of revenue that they should consider.
Also today, with the potential loss of federal dollars for law enforcement if the city won't cooperate with the Trump administration's plans to deport undocumented immigrants, the mayor making it clear Chicago will not be bullied into helping ICE agents.
We're not going to bend or break or cower to someone's threat. We're going to stand up and unite around our shared values, and they have my assurance that I'm going to protect the families of this city.
And when he says the families of this city, he's certainly not talking about the residents of Chicago, because what we know for sure in my covering in Chicago over the last 4 years is that they've definitely dropped the ball on making sure that they prioritize the people and they prioritize migrants. And I'm trying to figure out, again, how does Brandon Johnson, everybody is folding at this point. It's over. It's over. Trump won. You know he's not playing no games. He put in Tom Homan, and he's putting in people to make sure that we run the governments more efficiently. Now, if you want to forego federal government funds for a police force that's already down over 2,000 officers, and you already facing a budget deficit, and the people of Chicago is looking to turn the city red, then be my guest. But here's the thing, Brandon Johnson, and I'm going to speak specifically to you because I know that you get bothered about the fact that I do videos that criticize your administration because you've done nothing, and I mean nothing, since you've gotten into office that actually benefit the people. Here's the thing about this, Brandon Johnson. The things that you do today absolutely destroy the city tomorrow for people ultimately that's going to be born and people's children that then will have to either move out of Chicago or see their property values plummet or see their loved ones get killed because they don't have the proper public safety. We've seen you remove ShotSpotter, but at the same time continue to remove or renew these $100 million contracts with these phantom staffing agencies that ultimately is supposed to be shepherding over these migrant shelters. We've seen you spend hundreds of millions of dollars while at the same time trying to act like you've saved the city money. And you're not the only mayor. Lori Lightfoot, she happy to be gone, and she over there in Dalton causing chaos. And she's recently been enshrined as a woman of the LGBTQ. I don't know what the hell is going on, but they gave her like a Lifetime Achievement Award for being sassy. I don't know what the hell that is. But the people of Chicago is suffering. They're suffering. And it's really unfortunate because on one hand, I believe that the city of Chicago deserves this because they're the ones that keep voting for this nonsense. They keep bringing these public school teachers in here to run a city, and then these public school teachers ultimately get compromised by the dollar signs and the things that's happening. The dude just flew back from London talking about he's seeking business for the city of Chicago. Go do business in the city of Chicago when they talking about more taxes, and you got a Miracle Mile that got over a 40% vacancy rate, and that's supposed to be y'all tourist attraction. When you're running a budget deficit while at the same time supporting the migrant crisis, and then you sit there and you tell an incoming Trump administration who has recently installed Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk to do an audit of the federal government in order to save possibly up to $2 trillion a year, and we're making over $1 trillion a year in interest payments because We've been inefficient the entire time, and you're prioritizing illegal migrants that's not supposed to be here in the first place over the residents of Chicago. How do you think that that's going to play out for your city? You on a collision course with the big dog. You're on a collision course. Listen, Eric Adams ain't no fool. Eric Adams said, all right, we ended the migrant program with ain't no more food vouchers, ain't none of that. Now, I don't know why he was playing ball with the Biden administration in the first place, because everybody could see the writing on the wall that everything was going red. And so you was on the wrong side of that. And they threw some federal charges on you on their way out the door. Eric Adams said, listen, I'm not playing no more games. We done with this. It's over. And if you can't sustain yourself and get your own self together, then you can't get over here legally, then shame on you. But Brandon Johnson, with his mohawk and that pride, he is going to bury your city. And if y'all don't show up at these city council meetings, which is partially the reason why I believe that you guys deserve what you voted for, and please don't move. Don't move. Don't go to no other city. Don't go to no other state. J.B. Pritzker is running that state into the ground. Shout out to Brandon Johnson and all of the 50 aldermen that continue to make sure that they get their good salaries. They not taking no pay cuts, no furloughs. They gave themselves raises when Brandon Johnson got into office. But now they over there talking about, listen, I don't care if they take away everything. We're standing on this. Standing on what? You in shambles. It's not like you've built a sustainable city that's not interdependent on the federal government in the first place. What you standing on? Chicago. I'm not even talking to Brandon Johnson no more. I'm talking to the people of Chicago. How y'all letting this happen in y'all city? Don't y'all realize that they keep raising property taxes and they going to take your property, and then the rich people is going to come in and buy it up, put their own administration in there, make sure that y'all probably file for bankruptcy so they can wipe clean all of the debts that they have on their books, and then be able to create a surplus that allows for us to benefit, the people that go in and buy your homes to benefit. They taking your homes, dog. You can't even afford to live there. Chicago got some of the highest property taxes in the United States of America. Y'all are being taxed to death. And y'all don't have the proper representation when it comes to the police force, because they won't even invest in your police force. They removed ShotSpotter, the only preventative measure that they had. Police officers is getting killed in Chicago. 4 since Brandon Johnson took the helm over there in Chicago, when y'all sitting there posturing with your pride, and the whole country recognize where we need to go and what we need to do. And the whole country is saying that we don't want this to happen. Even though all of the counties and the places around Chicago was all red, and y'all still playing this game? All right. Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to be here to report on it. I'm going to be here to have a conversation about it. And I'm definitely going to be here to let y'all know how crazy y'all are, and y'all did this to yourselves. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Last but not least, make sure you get your tickets to come and kick it with me December 14th in Detroit. Last show of the year. Run it up. Discount code Anton. It's going to be a good time. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.